Alright, so now I've got something really, really awesome for you. I prepared a list of just over 200 or so niche ideas I think are really great ideas that can definitely work and be really good. Keep in mind that these ideas are actually things at the overall category level. So these are very, very broad niches, and I couldn't get into doing things at a specific niche level because it's literally like tens of thousands of potential niches on YouTube. Although I do want to maybe build some sort of document for specific niche ideas eventually, it's literally going to take like years. So for now, I'm just going to give you the best that I can, which is ideas for our overall category. And what I do is that for each of these ideas, I'm going to tell you how to pick your subgenre. So you still have to pick your own subgenre, but you can pick a subgenre, and then from there you can find a specific niche and then do a unique content style very, very easily, I think. And so this list is by no means comprehensive. It's by no means inclusive of every single niche on YouTube. This is just what I could come up with some research and off the top of my head and just with my experience. I had thought for a while that I was going to get in depth a little bit more to my niches that I make videos about. Eventually what I decided was that I don't think it's really good for me to teach you just literally all the niches that I've done. Just because what happens is that if I give out all the things that I've done, people are going to copy them, which is fine, by the way. I don't care if people copy me. The reason why I don't care if people copy me is because copying people doesn't really work, and it's probably not going to work for you. And you can still find all of my channels at any time at gamingcurios.com, gamingcurios.com. So I'm still fully public and transparent about what my channels are. So if you want to copy my channels, you can just go look at them and just copy them. But I don't want to get into detail for them because I want you, like really, if you want to be truly successful on YouTube, you have to essentially go through this funnel to find your own niche, because everybody on YouTube has success in their own way. Finding your own specific, unique niche is so powerful for setting you up for success. So I'm going to give you just the full tools to be able to figure out a niche for yourself on your own, and I think that's going to be so much more powerful than just giving you a list of like 50 channel formulas that you could be doing. I think especially when I look at this list, like I really consider every single one of my channels that I grew through this process to a certain degree, right? Like there was never something where we just kind of completely copied a niche that was a very obvious thing. Yes, we had some channels where maybe there was one or two competitors or one or two people doing the same content style, but for the most part, like we found our niches on our own, and that was like what caused it to work really well. And this is why like the overall knowledge for how to find a niche is so important. That's why I went super in depth on the process of finding a niche for you. And so with this niche ideas list that we're going to go through, I want to make a couple disclaimers here first and say that just this niche process and these niche ideas that I'm going to share with you, they work for everything. You know, this works for YouTube automation, this works for YouTube Shorts, could work for even YouTube live streams, could work for just long form YouTube content, short form YouTube content. These niches work for everything. Like once you get to just a good category, a good genre, like it works for any sort of business YouTube style that you're doing. So it's fully inclusive on everything else that we've talked about, that we're going to talk about in this course. Just make sure that for each of these niches, you're really going through this whole like 4-step or at least like 3-step category process to find something unique. You could start with 3 steps and then eventually build your channel into the 4th step, I think is fine. But overall, it's really bad if you're just going to be making videos for the overall category at the start. If you want to make videos for something that's an overall category or for a subgenre, the way you actually do that is you want to start with something that is a unique content style, and then once you have success with that, you can make things a little bit broader and get into the specific niche. And then once you have success with that, making things that have a broader appeal for the specific niche, then you can make videos for the subgenre that's a little bit bigger. And then once you have success with that, you can eventually build into the overall category. Like there's no YouTube creator that had success making videos at a high level category from day one. Everyone starts with at least a subgenre or specific niche, and then kind of builds their way up from there. Because once you get better at making content, once you already have an existing audience, it becomes so much easier to access these higher level categories. Because again, these are the categories, subgenres, these have like way more viewership, of course. There's just way more audience, things are more appealing, there's a broader appeal for the topics and the content. But you can't just start with that, because you have to kind of work your way up to build into it, both in terms of your audience, your channel style, your content skill especially is the biggest thing. And so just keep that in mind, but let's get through these niches. I specifically have a few of these that I think are really, really good for beginners, and I'm going to talk about probably the easiest ones to grow as we get through this. So first of all, we have reacts content. Just kind of reacting to stuff, showcasing stuff. This is a very big genre on YouTube. You know, just focus on reacting to something that's a niche or unique. Focus on like reactions on a certain, you know, subgenre, a certain specific niche and category. And there's so many different ways to do Reacts content as well. There's just like literally a million ways. Definitely something you can research further. We have like 200 niches to get through, so I'm gonna start speedrunning this. Highlights, clips, compilations. I've done some channels like this where it's just compiling clips from viewers. We did this for specific games, but you can do it for other niches too. Recaps are a really big thing going around. There's like anime recaps, movie recaps, but I think a big one that has been kind of interesting has been like comic book recaps or like book recaps, story recaps. Just focus on a specific type. Like your thing is a podcast recap, or you're doing movie recaps, or TV show recaps, or action movies, or Chinese movies, or Chinese TV shows. Like just a specific type of recap, and then only do that thing, I think is the way to go. So we got street interviews. This is kind of like what we showed with our Ukraine channel. So you want to focus on a specific country or a specific topic that can be appealing to people, and just doing things that are based around that. So you're just wanting to go kind of a more unique, specific way, something that's interesting for people. If you don't want to do street interviews, you could just do normal interviews, like online interviews or things that aren't on the street. Focus again on a specific topic, niche, or genre. We've also got like experiments. There's like some skills learning content we tried a little bit before. All sorts of experiments, trying things, doing things. So the main key is just focus on good storytelling, and then do something that's unique or interesting with your experiment or with whatever you're learning. Social experiments and pranks, again, just focusing on good storytelling and then doing something unique with it is really important. Challenges, so again, this is kind of just like the IRL entertainment categories. So we've got focusing on good storytelling, and then just doing unique challenges in your video is really important. Doing something unique, different, or interesting. Survival challenges as well. You want to focus on like unique and difficult scenarios. Adventures, do something crazy, tell the story of the experience. Just do a unique adventure, really, is what it comes down to. Like do something in a unique area, a unique part of the world, a unique thing that you're doing. Storytelling, of course. Storytelling can go so far, really almost every genre of video should involve storytelling in some way. But storytelling as just an actual content style, you could tell stories in a unique way. You could tell unique stories from a unique type of people, focusing on a specific culture, specific genre, a specific topic. Really with all these, it's just all about, you want to focus on a specific genre, topic, audience, or type of video for the category is really all it comes down to. We got entertainment videos, doing something unique and hilarious. Of course, I'm gonna have this full document, by the way, for you, and just down below. So you can just check out the full document. Maybe I'll update it a little bit. So we've got doing builds in person have been really cool. Like this is something I know Matthew Beam does a lot. Like just building something really cool in real life. A lot of science channels do this type of stuff, but just interesting builds, building something kind of fun or cool. It's a little bit expensive though, but you can definitely do it in an interesting way. Of course, clothes, fashion, style, appearance. Focusing, I think with this one, you want to focus on a specific audience, right? So you're doing fashion for like male teenagers, or like style for, women in their early 30s. It's like you're focusing on a specific audience rather than a specific type of content, because you want to make videos that are appealing to the exact same group of viewers and just capture that audience really well. So with this sort of like demographic-based topics, I think just focusing on the specific audience is really the key. And you can get really in depth with your audiences, right? Like I know channels that do like men's style for teenagers between the age of like 13 and 17, or like women's makeup for people that are still in university. It's like a very, very specific audience. That's how you kind of want to get to this like deeper level for these categories. Same with makeup, skincare, beauty. Just focusing on a specific audience or a specific type of thing that you're doing in that category goes a long way. Tech and gadgets, this sort of like kind of electronics, like hardware type of stuff, and just focusing on a specific type of tech or a specific type of gadgets or genre of gadgets. Same with engineering and science, we want to focus on a specific type. Vlogging, we've got, travel vlogging, lifestyle vlogging, all sorts of vlogging. Just doing something really cool or unique, I think especially showcasing a unique lifestyle. Like I watched this one vlogger who was like doing university in Singapore or something like that. It was like this Korean person doing university in Singapore, and it was just really cool to see this like unique perspective on life basically. And I've seen some people who did vlogs of like, I'm working on a farm in rural America, or just some sort of like unique perspective on their life, whatever situation you happen to be in. Like showing off that situation that you're living in is a great option for vlogging especially. Of course, you can also do vlogging around like relationships and drama and cooking, food. I think just doing some sort of unique recipe or unique food genre, unique style of food, unique way to create, or unique creations, trying things in some way goes a really long way. You got to be doing things unique, really, is all we're trying to do at the end of the day. Of course, fitness. I think with fitness, you want to focus on a specific audience and a type of fitness. So for example, you're doing like yoga for young women, or you're doing weight training for old men, or calisthenics for teenagers type of stuff. It's like you have a specific audience and a specific type of fitness that you're focusing on. I think is really the key, because fitness is such a huge, heavily saturated market that focusing on the specific audience and type of fitness is really the key here, I think. Health and medicine, just focusing on a specific sector or a specific type of health. Maybe you do a channel where you're just all about like eating healthy, or you have a channel where it's all about living healthy or curing certain potential diseases as you get older, or just focusing on a specific sector goes a really long way. Travel/lifestyle content. I think the good thing with here is you could focus on a specific country. It can be very interesting, or a specific category of content style. Like I know one of my friends who was doing he would do food vlogs in different countries. So he would go to different countries and make videos about their food, or you wouldn't even do it in different countries. He would just cook it in his room, or maybe just make videos about it using other people's footage, or just focusing on a specific category for the lifestyle content for the travel. The lifestyle is also really big, like focusing on a specific audience and or type of lifestyle. So you could do focusing on a channel about veganism or minimalism, or it's like monk mode lifestyle, or just like focusing on a specific lifestyle and then doing that based on a specific audience, I think goes a really long way. Hobby content is really great. Like if you've got a really cool hobby, just something that you do that's interesting. Let me tell you, what you do is probably more interesting than you think it is. So focusing on a specific hobby in depth. So just picking one hobby is really kind of the goal here. Same with sports. It's like you want to do a specific sport or sports league or type of sport. People do even just fighting sports as well too, or Olympic sports, or like the NBA or basketball or football or NHL type of stuff. Just focusing on a specific area within sports goes a long way. Same with fighting, self-defense, focusing on a specific type of self-defense, like a specific martial art, or a specific, maybe you're focused on self-defense against street fights. And then we've got this job, career, solid content, so showcasing a unique or interesting job or career. Something that went really viral in the past couple years was people showing off their work at fast food places. So there's Taco Bell and Cold Stone and Subway and all these channels where it's just people working these kind of minimum wage jobs, but it was actually really interesting. Showcasing your job or your career or whatever it is you're already doing, I think can be really, really cool content, especially if you can just do it in an entertaining way, because most of the time what other people are doing that's different to you can be very interesting, because it just gives you a totally new perspective on life. Gaming is a really great one for beginners. It's a really good option if you're just fully new to YouTube. But what you want to do is focus on a specific individual game. You must focus only on one game, and the best ones are just new games, because new games have way less competition since they're just still coming out and no one's been able to make videos about them. We've also got any sort of finance, investing, make money online. Just want to focus on a specific genre, specific sector. So people do stock investing or crypto investing, real estate investing, or making money online through drop shipping, through making YouTube videos like I'm doing with you right now. All sorts of stuff, but just focusing on a specific category, specific genre, specific sector is really the key. Photography, just focus on a specific area of photography, specific genre of content within photography. Same with this kind of filmmaking, editing, production, just focus on one of those things, one of those types of things within that whole filmmaking space. A lot of people do really cool stuff with this, by the way. It's a really underrated genre in my opinion. Very, very cool. Definitely not for beginners. It's really, really difficult to make good videos for this, but there's a lot of really cool videos you could check out for this genre. How-to, info content, one of the best genres in my opinion for beginners. What you want to do is focus on a specific niche or a specific audience. I would say focusing on a specific niche in depth is really key. How-to info content you can really combine with almost any other topic on this list and do it in that way. So the reason why I'm not highlighting things like sports or hobbies or lifestyle stuff is because these are still pretty broad topics and there isn't really a super obvious way to narrow it down. But let's say you combine lifestyle with info content. It's okay, now you're getting into a category that's much more approachable and much more realistic to get results with. Again, what we have to consider and keep in mind is that one of the best ways to come up with a niche for yourself is combining two of these niches from this list, right? So we're going to do gaming, info content, investing, productivity videos, or hobby, lifestyle content, or sports, cooking content. So you're going to do athlete diet stuff, or it's you want to combine two of these is a great way to get something really unique, and that's why I wanted to make this list for you guys. Talking head info content. Talking head just kind of means someone being on camera and talking about stuff. It's what I'm kind of doing right now. Just focusing something you have a good knowledge on, and again, just focusing on a specific niche is really key. This is really just another branch of info content, when I say info content, it's like information, informative type of stuff. You're teaching things to people. Marketing, just focus on a specific type of marketing, specific sector. Like some channels do only Facebook ads or only YouTube ads or marketing on TikTok and stuff like that. Productivity, self-improvement, kind of similar to the kind of makeup fashion stuff, because you want to focus on a specific audience, right? So you're doing self-improvement for young men, or self-improvement for middle-aged women, or self-improvement for teenagers type of stuff. Like you're focusing on a specific audience here. Same with motivation, school and university as well. Like if you're going to do a channel that's about school or university, you focus on high school students or university students or middle school students. Maybe don't do preschool students, but I don't know. I guess preschoolers probably do watch YouTube these days. So yeah, you probably could do preschoolers, honestly. You just got to keep in mind what your audience actually is and make videos that's appropriate for your target audience. Cars, automobiles, vehicles. Focus on a specific type. Like I watched this one channel of this guy who did videos about planes. That was like the coolest thing ever. Similar to video games, we've got like games in real life. So like board games, card games, all sorts of games, just fun games. Just focus on a specific game is really the best way to do it. Lots of chess channels, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, all sorts of like board games and stuff that are like Settlers of Catan, I think has some popular channels. Movies and TV. Just want to focus on a specific franchise or a specific series. Some people do Marvel, or there's like, I know Game of Thrones channels were like massive when that was a big hit series, or like there's a lot of channels doing the new Star Wars TV shows, or just new TV shows or movies, or following. You can also, with movies and TV as well as anime, you can also follow the hype essentially and just do videos on whatever is the most popular movie or TV show at the time. Can be a really good option too. Same with anime. Just kind of focus on a specific franchise, series, or genre, and then expand from there. This is a really good one that you can combine with other things on this list, is like doing things for a fan base or a franchise that's really popular. Like people do Apple fans, or Star Wars fans, or Disney fans, or all sorts of big companies, Amazon fans, Microsoft, etc. Like these big fan-based franchise is something you can combine with a lot of other categories on this list. You've also got like house stuff, so house, home decorations, interior design, kind of maintenance, just focusing on a specific area of stuff within the home category is good. Same with real estate homes, just a specific type of house. Maybe you're doing like expensive houses, or some people do like affordable houses or duplexes, or some people got really big doing like just apartment buildings. Of course, do-it-yourself builds as well. Just focus on a specific genre of builds is really good. Crafts making is a great one as well, or as I like to call it, just physical art. It's not to say that other art isn't physical, but I just couldn't really figure out how to describe this. So, of course, you want to focus on a specific craft style. So here we're talking about like woodworking, or there was a channel that I know that was doing ring making, or jewelry making, or weapon making, or welding, or just some sort of crafts physical thing that you do, and just focus on one specific style of that. Music is another super big genre. There's so many ways to do music content, but again, you want to focus on a specific genre of music or a specific instrument, and then kind of narrow things down further from there, and you can get into a deeper level of category from there. If you're making videos about social media, focusing on a specific social media is pretty obvious. ASMR, focusing on a specific type of ASMR. Programming or development, if you want to just focus on a specific area of that. So I know some channels that did game design, or some channels that did like full stack programming, or some channels that did like in-depth things about Python, or just like a specific programming language or something like that. Now we've got AI. This is actually kind of an interesting one, and the way I had to think about this one a lot, and for me, what I decided was you want to focus on getting a specific result for viewers, because I think most people don't care about AI at a general sense, but they care about the results that they can get from AI. So they would do channels of like how to make money with AI, or you could do like how to improve your life with AI, things that make your life easier, makes your job easier, makes you a better person, and then just focus on like a bunch of ways to do that with AI and tools and stuff like that. Drama and news, I think this is actually is this a good one for beginners? Actually, I would say probably not, because you have to be really fast with posting the videos is the only thing. But just doing drama and news for a specific niche, it can be a really good option. Like, I have one friend who did a really big channel doing drama and news about League of Legends, or they did about chess, or like these like sub-communities that kind of exist within the internet of like all these other categories like on this list, and had a lot of success. The only thing with drama and news is that you have to post the videos really quickly, because drama and news is very time sensitive. Like you have to post it kind of the same day that the drama and news happens, but it can definitely still be a good option. Investigative journalism is a really good option, just kind of creating information that doesn't exist in the world and like finding things out and then making videos about it. I had some great success with investigative journalism content that was just based within gaming, honestly. Celebrities, I think, are a really underrated niche, and actually probably one of the best ones for beginners. But I don't want you to think about celebrities in the traditional sense. What I want you to focus on is what we call new media celebrities. So what does this mean? This is like your YouTubers, your influencers, people that are popular on social media. And then also we have our niche GOATs. So GOAT means greatest of all time. I showed a channel example previously of Magnus Carlsen, who is the greatest chess player of all time. And that was a really interesting niche to me because chess itself is not a very big niche. It's okay, but it's not super big. But videos about Magnus Carlsen just kind of transcended the niche because people love to watch someone who is just the greatest ever at doing something. And so making videos about this can be a really good option. I think audience hacking as well is a great option for beginners, one of the easiest ways to grow. And you want to just focus on a specific person or a specific audience to hack. Again, the best option here is kind of our new media celebrities, which is to say like your other YouTubers, your social media stars, TikTokers, your GOATs within specific niches, and then making videos for people that are fans of those people and doing it in a way that is really interesting for people. This is also why you see so many like big YouTuber news content type of stuff where they're just like making videos about YouTubers for people that are interested in them. It's like a really good audience hacking. Trend jacking is also really good, but is a little bit hard to identify, so it's not as beginner friendly, but I do think it's still a really good option for beginners. And you want to just focus on doing the trend in a really unique way. If you can provide something new to a trend, then that can be a great option. I'm actually just going to highlight this one. The only problem with this for beginners is that it can be very hard for a beginner to identify what the trends are. But I think hopefully with the tools that we talked about in this course, you should be able to find trends yourself, and then just doing the trend in a unique way that hasn't been done before by combining other ideas and other things that we talked about can be a great way for success. Animations are really great. I've got an animation channel that's really successful. We make Minecraft animations. Evolutions, this is something that I also had a lot of success with. We did evolutions of various games, but I've seen people have success with like movies and TV shows and companies and all sorts of crazy stuff, like doing, how things evolved over the years and how things started and eventually turned out. It's kind of role-play story content. We do this in Minecraft. Just create really interesting, fun, scripted stories. There's a lot of channels that just do this in real life or within games or within other genres. And of course, kids content, toys type of stuff, just focus on a specific type. YouTube Shorts, of course, every single idea on this list applies to YouTube Shorts as well. So the only thing with YouTube Shorts is that we don't want to go deeper than this subgenre. We want to stay focused on a pretty broad appeal niche. You don't have to make videos for this kind of overall category level, but I would say you don't want to go deeper than just a subgenre for YouTube Shorts, just because you don't want to limit your audience too much for your viewership. And just refer to our full lesson, our section on Shorts, where we talk much more in depth about that. We've got kind of comparisons, these versus battles. We do a lot of this. We do some within gaming, we've done some not gaming, and so it's a really great format of just comparing two things, seeing things face against each other in a fight, and who would win, putting things in an uneven or interesting situation, and who would win. Documentaries, video essays, just again focusing on a specific niche, not very beginner friendly, actually pretty difficult to make, but can be very interesting if you can do some good content there. Animals, just focus on a specific genre of animal, like I've seen some channels that are really good at reptiles, or some animals that do amphibians, or fish, or just dogs, pets, cats, and stuff. Crime, true crime, again, just focusing on a specific type. Same with conspiracies and paranormal, kind of similar to this kind of crime area. It's like just focusing on a specific type of conspiracy. Politics, you want to focus on a specific audience, so you want to be focusing on a specific type of voter. Like in the US, you can make videos for Republicans, or you can make videos for Democrats, but you don't want to be making videos for both because that's not really going to work out. Languages, kind of obvious. Languages, you got to focus on a specific language. I don't think people are going to be watching videos of multiple languages. Art or creations, if you're doing any sort of art or any sort of creation, what you want to do is just focus on a specific type of art or creation. So maybe you're doing digital art, maybe you're doing Photoshop art, maybe you're doing AI art, or sculptures, or any sort of creation, physical stuff, art or otherwise, just focus on a specific type. Comedy is an interesting one. You want to focus on a specific niche audience, so if you're going to make comedy videos, you want to make comedy videos that is targeted towards a specific type of person, or a specific type of audience. This is a great one to combine with audience hacking, and then making jokes and funny videos for that specific audience. So start by finding an audience and then kind of work backwards by making jokes that audience would think are funny and making those videos essentially for those people. You can find audiences on like Reddit or 4chan or Twitter or, even just YouTube and TikTok and any social media, just seeing where the communities are at and what communities of people form, and just finding communities of people and then making videos for them can go a really long way. You can also do that with other genres on this list too. Education as well, focusing on a specific subject. Maybe you have a math channel or science channel or English channel. History as well, focusing on a specific time period I think is really cool. Like I've seen some channels that did like World War II, or there's this There's this one really big channel that does World War I super, super in-depth, or like Renaissance period, or like the Romans, etc., just a specific time period or era is a good place to start, and then you could expand from there once you grow. Books, again, just focusing on a specific genre. Parenting, children type of stuff, again, just focusing on a specific area, like parenting for, maybe single moms that have a son or stuff like that. Same with unboxing reviews, just a specific type of product in depth is really great. This is a pretty difficult genre to get into for beginners for sure, but can still be a good option. At the overall end of the day, the best thing to do as a beginner is just making something that's unique. So this is really just kind of meant to give you a bunch of ideas and sort of spark your creativity. So potentially give you some options of just things that you could do, things that you can combine or just get interest in and go from there. Gardening, farming, planting, all sorts of like outdoor growing stuff, trees, just focus on a specific area or style. Kind of this mental health, psychology, meditation, again, just focus on a specific audience, like you're doing mental health for young men or mental health for older retired women type of stuff. Dating relationships, again, just focusing on a specific audience demographic, like you're doing dating relationships for men or for middle-aged women or for single parents, and then we've got this genre of culture or country showcase. So you're focusing on showcasing a specific culture or a specific country. I guess it's especially good if the country or culture is like very interesting or popular globally. But again, you just want to focus on a specific one. Business, again, just focusing on a specific type of business that you're doing, that you're teaching, that you're talking about. Writing or calligraphy or any sort of like written art style can also fit into this category. Is just focusing on a specific type of writing. Again, with all these, it's all just about focusing on a specific type of thing within the category. That's really just all it comes down to. Life hacks, focusing on a specific niche. Nature, wildlife, outdoors, we want to focus on a specific genre or activity. Maybe you're doing a camping channel or a mountain climbing channel or a winter survival channel or a forest survival type of stuff, etc. Dance is focusing, I would say, dance can be maybe part of music, but just focusing on a specific genre of dance or a specific genre of music that you dance to or make dance videos about can also work. Religion, spirituality, etc. Just focus on a specific religion or specific practice. I think it's going to be really hard to get people that are interested in one religion to watch videos about another religion, so those audiences are going to be really split. So just focusing on a specific religion is going to be the key here. Podcasts, a really tough one for beginners, I think. Just focusing on a very, very specific niche topic for your podcast if you want to start from scratch. It's going to be really hard to grow a podcast from nothing, I think. So personally, I wouldn't really recommend this one. I don't have a podcast. I'm not going to make a podcast because I think it's just too hard to grow. People will become successful content creators in other categories and then start a podcast with their existing audience is usually how people do it. Restorations, I think, is a really awesome genre. It's something that I've tried to look into a little bit more, but this idea of taking something that's really damaged and just fully repairing it, like even just restorations, I've seen people do this like with housing, with like lawn mowing or cleaning a pool or restoring like a room that was really damaged or dirty, or like before and after cleanings is really, really cool. But there's also just restorations of like physical things like rusted weapons or broken tools or even more advanced things. Like I watched this one channel who would do restorations of broken airplanes, where he would take airplanes, fix them up, and then sell them, and it was like the coolest thing ever. This is actually a very, very broad genre. You could do so much with this. You could fit this into like almost any other category on the list. We've got performances, magic type of stuff, like just a specific type of performance you want to focus on. It goes a really long way. This is another really cool genre because it can be interesting to learn how to do the performance, but it's also interesting to watch the performance. So you have a kind of double dip sort of viewership here if you have something that's interesting. Content creation, obviously focus on a specific type of content. My niche is focusing on YouTube content creation. You could do TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram, all sorts of stuff. Exploration, I think, is you want to explore a certain type of area or certain thing, or maybe certain countries. Like I know some channels would do like cave exploring or ocean exploring or exploring regions within the country that they live in type of stuff. Cosplay costumes, just focusing on a specific type of creation. So a specific type that you could do like anime cosplays or movie costumes or TV shows or a video game character, makeup, costumes. Non-profit activism, obviously you want to focus on a specific cause. Maybe not a specific charity, but a specific like outcome in the world that you're trying to influence or change. Just a specific cause that you're really passionate about. Events, you want to focus on a specific type of event. Pretty straightforward. Geography as well. Focus on a specific type of content within geography. Or you could focus on a specific country or a specific continent. There's actually quite a few options for geography, and I think it's a really cool niche, since you could have a certain type of content and then do that content style for multiple countries, or you could have a country and then do multiple content styles for your country. So there's a few kind of ways to approach that there. Space and physics as well. A little bit similar to geography, but just at a more advanced level, I guess. But just focusing on a specific area and or type of content goes really well. We've got top 10s, lists, tier lists, a great option for beginners, but you want to focus on a specific genre. Definitely want to be going in pretty deep with this, like something very specific, but this can be really good to combine with other niches for sure. New releases, updates, creations, just focusing on some new things that exist in the world is another great option for beginners, and just focusing on a specific genre. I like to use the example of like new games, but there's a lot more to the world than just new video games. There's new stuff that comes out all the time, new stuff that happens. Narrations is cool, just specific type of storytelling or narrations or genre of story or type of story, or maybe you're getting the stories from a certain place like Reddit or a certain part of the internet like Twitter or some other community that you're doing stories and content from, just focusing on a specific niche for those as well. You've got memes and jokes as well. You want to focus on a specific genre or just target audience like memes for young kids or adults, or just memes for people that play basketball or for people that play Minecraft or for people that work in retail or for people that are in university. It's just like a specific target audience here. It's kind of like weapon content, like focusing on a specific type of weapon. I saw this really cool channel that made videos about like katanas, and they would like make katanas and then sell them. It was like super cool business. Transformations is kind of before and after thing. Just focus on a specific type of transformation. Again, we have the idea of like cleaning a pool or doing a lawn care. Like people have this before and after transformation of like gardening, fixing up a garden completely, or lawn mowing, fixing up a car that was really badly damaged, or just bicycle, or doing new paint jobs. Like these kind of transformations I think are a really cool genre, and just you want to focus on a specific type of transformation that you're doing. Live streams again is another thing that you can combine with pretty much anything on this list. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. I'm not a huge fan of live streaming. I personally just don't like it, but you could definitely still do it. But you want to focus again on a specific niche, do some kind of show within your live stream that's interesting. And we've got just like people interactions, doing fun or funny things. Focus on a specific type, and then storytelling, telling other people's stories. Focus on a specific type of people or maybe a certain culture. Funny skits, just focusing on a specific topic or maybe genre of skit or audience within your skit topics. And that's the list. That is not every single niche on YouTube, but that's a pretty good list of what I could come up with just research and brainstorming and talking to people. It's a pretty good thing. I think it's about 250 ideas here. And so again, we just want to go back to our kind of style here of just, we want to combine niche ideas. Like you take one niche idea and combine it with the second one, and that can get you all the way down to this specific niche level of doing something that's unique and interesting, and then you can come up with the unique content style from there using the video idea research tools that we showed you before. So hopefully this is really helpful, because I think this was a really cool resource to put together. It took me a really long time actually to come up with this whole list, so I really hope you guys enjoy it, and I think this was one of my favorite videos to make for this course, so I really hope you enjoyed it. The goal here is kind of just to spark ideas. At the end of the day, you have to choose your niche yourself, because everyone on YouTube grows in their own specific unique way. Because we're trying to do this thing where you're making something unique, right? So you have to pick your own niche. If you pick a niche that's chosen by someone else, by definition, it's not going to be unique, right? Because someone else chose it for you. Someone else has done it before already. So just keep that in mind, and you should definitely have all the tools by now to make the decision for yourself and figure things out on your own now. So definitely, I think you can do a really good job of it, but just make sure to keep in mind everything we've talked about, and maybe come back to our lessons here in the future if you ever need to. And thanks for watching.